He swore never to repeat what he hears here.
Okay.
Are we on? Are we rolling? Oh. Okay. Are we on?
Yep.
Yeah, I want to talk about how we were talking about how music is all divided, and you told me, like, at a school like this, describe how different people are kind of divided from each other by terms of the music they listen to.
Yeah, I've noticed that the schools, at the school I went to at least, like the people out in the field will listen to the rock and roll mostly, and the people from the quad, so-called jocks, quote unquote, you might say, will listen to maybe the soul, and it seems too separated to me. For my taste, it doesn't really matter the music. Well, I'm into a lot of music personally, but it just seems too separated these days in my views of it, and I don't know it.
Yeah, I mean, someone told me that like one of the first questions you get asked when you come into a new school or new scene is what
music do you listen to, right? And you immediately get put into their stereotype, what music you listen to. So you'll have to go hang out with these people. You'll go out in the field if you listen to rock, and you'll hang out there, or you'll come into the quad. It's more like that now. It seems to me, but it's not all like that. I've noticed, but most of it is like that.
Rock and roll for a lot of people, not, I think, an older generation, but not that old. I mean, people my age, people who were listening to rock and roll in the 60s. When they think of rock and roll, I think a lot about black music, which seems to not exist as rock and roll anymore.
That's true. There is one or two black groups, I think, that do play rock and roll. There's a group from L.A. called Sound Barrier that it's more on the heavy side, and the Bus Boys, of course, they do. They have their own rock and roll style, but that's the only black music really that's around. And of course, Jimi Hendrix, one who started it all, but that's about it.
Jimi Hendrix started what?
I think he's one of the started the heavier rock and roll. He's you listen to his stuff, it's a little on the heavy side, a lot of guitar in it. And that's what I think. Heavy metal, it has a lot of guitar, and that's why people are more into that. There's a lot of guitar work in it. A lot of the guitars are real good, and some of them aren't that good, and it's just real heavy,
When you hear black music, I mean, what does it sound like?
I think of soul music, soul music from black music, that's my my view of it.
Do you ever play Aretha Franklin or anything like that?
No, not at this station, no.
Do you know who she is?
Yeah, I've heard of her. I've never listened to her music, but I've heard of her. We're basically heavy metal, not more hard rock. We like to play what you can't hear anywhere else. That's what's good about KVHS, because we can go and experiment with that since we're not a big commercial radio station. We do have a big following, though, because we play, groups like a lot of Iron Maiden, and Accept is a group that we've been playing a lot, and of course Scorpions. And
one last question. This music is real popular, but there's not one radio station in San Francisco that'll play it. Why not?
I really couldn't tell you on that. Like I was saying, that they can't. It's because they think that the teenagers don't have the money. This is for the advertisers' view, but they won't buy. You can be rated top one, and nobody will buy your advertisement if you play all this music because they think kids have been listening to it. I've been taking a survey lately just of writing down how old people have been, and I'd say our average listener is 18 years old, just recently. And I've been really curious on how come there isn't a station that will play mostly harder rock. The rocker comes out and says they play. I don't want to put down the rocker, but they come out and say that they'll play, that they're the rocker. They'll play one heavy metal song an hour or so. We try to fit in lots, mostly the whole hour. We'll fit in a little new wave and a little just basic rock and roll, but it's mostly hard rock.
Okay. Good.
Great.
Thank you. You passed the test. Next. Same thing.